At our friend's wedding, my boyfriend's ex told everyone, "Hannah doesn't want you there because of all the history between Owen and me." I pulled out my phone and exposed her lies, and what happened next destroyed her entire life. I'm Emma, a 26-year-old marketing director at a Fortune 500 company, earning $95,000 annually with strong industry connections. My boyfriend, Owen, and I have been together for almost 2 years, but his ex-girlfriend, Naomi, has been systematically trying to sabotage our relationship since we got back together after a brief summer breakup. The wedding belonged to our mutual friends, Kevin and Hannah. Kevin had been Owen's college friend, while Hannah and Naomi were high school best friends. When the wedding party was announced in January, I knew we were heading for trouble. Naomi was chosen as maid of honor, and she immediately began her campaign to exclude me from the celebration. Her harassment started subtly. She'd send Owen late-night messages about missing him and how wrong he was for choosing me. Then she escalated to direct Instagram messages, telling me I should stay away from the wedding because seeing Owen with someone else would be too painful for her. She positioned herself as doing me a favor, but the threat was clear. What made me suspicious was how Naomi seemed to know wedding details before they were announced. She mentioned specific +1 restrictions that hadn't been communicated to guests yet. As someone who's managed corporate events with budgets exceeding $200,000, I recognized manipulation tactics when I saw them. Owen called Kevin to discuss the situation, and Kevin initially assured us that my attendance was never in question. But 2 weeks later, Kevin's tone changed completely. Suddenly, there were budget constraints and +1 limitations that only applied to unmarried couples together less than 3 years. When Owen pointed out that other groomsmen were bringing girlfriends who didn't meet these criteria, Kevin got defensive and claimed those situations were different. The official wedding invitation arrived addressed only to Owen, with no +1 indicated. This confirmed my suspicions that Naomi had successfully manipulated Hannah into excluding me. Having coordinated dozens of corporate events, I knew that guest list changes this specific didn't happen by accident. My professional background in strategic marketing had taught me to document everything and think 3 steps ahead. I'd been screenshotting Naomi's messages from the beginning, creating a comprehensive record of her harassment campaign. I also had detailed notes from Owen's conversations with Kevin, including dates, times, and exact quotes about the changing explanations for my exclusion. As a marketing professional, I understand influence networks and how to leverage relationships for strategic outcomes. I maintain connections throughout my industry, including several who work in event planning, legal consulting, and corporate communications. More importantly, I've learned that the best defense against manipulation is thorough preparation and strategic timing. I decided to conduct what I call a stakeholder analysis, identifying everyone involved in the wedding planning and their potential motivations. Hannah was clearly under pressure from Naomi, who was exploiting their long friendship. Kevin was caught between supporting his friend Owen and avoiding conflict with his fiancée. The other wedding party members were likely unaware of the manipulation happening behind the scenes. My strategy was simple. Let Naomi's lies expose themselves while building an irrefutable case of her manipulative behavior. I encouraged Owen to ask direct questions about the +1 policy, knowing that the inconsistent answers would reveal the deception. Meanwhile, I continued documenting every interaction, every message, and every changing explanation. The breakthrough came when Owen called Hannah directly. Unlike Kevin's rehearsed responses, Hannah gave spontaneous answers that contradicted the official story. She admitted that Naomi had expressed concerns about my presence and that avoiding awkwardness was a factor in their decision. This was the first direct acknowledgement that Naomi's comfort level was driving wedding planning decisions. Armed with this admission and months of documented harassment, I knew we had reached the decision point. Owen stepped down as groomsman, explaining that he couldn't participate in a wedding where his girlfriend was excluded to accommodate his ex-girlfriend's manipulation. The reaction was swift and telling. Kevin and Hannah offered a compromise, where I could attend the ceremony but not the reception. This half measure confirmed everything I suspected. If budget constraints were real, offering ceremony attendance wouldn't address them. If space limitations were genuine, partial inclusion wouldn't solve the problem. The compromise revealed that my exclusion had always been about Naomi's emotional comfort, not practical considerations. We declined the compromise and committed to our weekend getaway instead. But I wasn't finished with my strategic planning. I knew that wedding days create high-stress environments where true personalities emerge. Naomi had invested months in manipulating this situation, and I predicted that Owen's absence would trigger an emotional reaction that would expose her behavior to everyone present. On the wedding morning, my prediction proved accurate. Owen received a call from Marcus, another groomsman, reporting that Naomi had appeared in the men's preparation room demanding to speak with Owen. When told he wasn't there, she had what Marcus described as a complete meltdown, crying that the wedding was ruined and admitting she never meant for Owen to drop out. The beautiful irony was that Naomi's confession happened in front of the entire wedding party. Hannah, hearing the commotion, came over and witnessed Naomi's admission that she had pressured Hannah to exclude me. In that moment, Hannah realized she had been manipulated and admitted that the budget excuse was fabricated. Kevin's reaction was decisive and public. He told Naomi she was no longer welcome in the wedding party and demanded she leave the hotel. When she refused, insisting she would attend as a regular guest, the conflict escalated into a shouting match between the bride and groom. Hannah wanted to protect her friendship with Naomi, while Kevin recognized that her manipulation had cost him a decade-long friendship with Owen. The wedding ceremony proceeded, but according to Marcus, the atmosphere was tense and uncomfortable. Naomi attended in her maid of honor dress despite being removed from the wedding party, sitting in the front row as a deliberate provocation. At the reception, she spread her own version of events, claiming Owen had chosen his rebound girlfriend over his oldest friends. The final collapse came during the father-daughter dance. Naomi, emboldened by alcohol and desperate for vindication, interrupted the dance to make an impromptu speech about friendship and loyalty. She declared that some friends abandon you when you need them most, and that Hannah deserved better than people who would skip her wedding over petty relationship drama. This public display of manipulation and attention-seeking behavior was the last straw. Kevin took the microphone and ordered Naomi to leave immediately or face police intervention. She finally departed, but not before knocking over a centerpiece and shouting that everyone would regret taking sides against her. The aftermath vindicated every aspect of my strategic approach. Wedding guests who had initially believed the budget constraint story now understood the real manipulation behind my exclusion. Kevin's cousin and Hannah's aunt both called Owen to apologize and share additional information about Naomi's months-long pressure campaign. Hannah's aunt revealed that she had advised Hannah against the manipulation from the beginning, but Hannah chose the path of least resistance rather than confronting her best friend's inappropriate behavior. This pattern of enabling had allowed Naomi's manipulation to succeed temporarily, but ultimately led to its spectacular public failure. Kevin sent Owen a lengthy apology, admitting that Naomi had influenced the +1 decision from the beginning. He acknowledged that his dishonesty about budget constraints had damaged their friendship and expressed regret about the wedding disaster. Hannah called separately, crying about how Naomi's behavior had overshadowed what should have been the happiest day of her life. The professional consequences for Naomi extended far beyond the wedding humiliation. Her public meltdown and manipulative behavior had been witnessed by dozens of people, many of whom shared professional and social circles with her. Within weeks, word spread about her instability and manipulative tendencies. 2 weeks after the wedding, Marcus informed Owen that Naomi had been fired from her job following emotional outbursts and a screaming match with her supervisor. Her reputation within their shared social circle was severely damaged, with most mutual friends now understanding her true character and distancing themselves accordingly. The financial impact was significant as well. Naomi had invested in an expensive maid-of-honor dress, hotel accommodations, and wedding-related expenses that provided no return after her removal from the wedding party. More critically, her job loss eliminated her primary income source, forcing her to scramble for employment in a market where her reputation preceded her. Owen and I emerged from this situation with our relationship stronger than ever. The experience demonstrated our ability to handle external pressure as a team and reinforced our commitment to protecting our partnership from manipulation. We've since moved in together and are planning our own engagement with a clear understanding of how to identify and counter manipulative behavior in our social circles. The strategic lessons from this situation have enhanced my professional capabilities as well. The documentation, stakeholder analysis, and strategic patience I employed proved invaluable in achieving a decisive victory. These skills have since benefited my marketing career, where I've successfully managed several high-stakes client situations using similar approaches. Kevin and Owen have cautiously resumed their friendship, meeting occasionally for lunch and focusing on rebuilding trust. However, their relationship will never return to its previous closeness due to the months of dishonesty and manipulation enabling. Hannah has sent several conciliatory messages, but I maintain polite distance given her role in the initial exclusion. Most satisfying is the complete reversal of Naomi's intended outcome. Instead of driving Owen and me apart, her manipulation brought us closer together and exposed her true character to everyone who witnessed her behavior. She lost her best friend, her job, her reputation, and any remaining connection to Owen, while achieving the opposite of everything she had worked to accomplish. The final outcome validated every decision we made throughout this process. By refusing to accept manipulation, documenting the harassment, and maintaining strategic patience, we achieved total victory while preserving our integrity. Naomi's plan to break us up completely backfired, destroying her own life instead and leaving us stronger and more committed than ever before.